There we go. It's not just starting soon, it's starting very, very soon. There he is. There he is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we go.
Welcome to Breaking It Down. Another week, another story.
Oh my gosh, dude, I got to tell you, I I'm hearing something in the background just like I did last time. So let me make sure that we're all muted. Make sure, are you muted on your
We're good
side?
now. Yeah, we're good.
Beautiful. Awesome. Hey, let's get started. First of all, I didn't think we were going to get anybody here. What do you do? You got 20 people in the Riverside room? What are
I
you
was able.
inviting you got the whole neighborhood? We're supposed to start slow and low with this. We're starting to
We're
build up. You're going
we're getting
crazy.
them. We're getting them going. People want to be here,
Oh my gosh, dude.
even even on a crazy night like tonight. There's something going on tonight in Cleveland, Aaron.
Well, I guess we wouldn't know because even though the Cavs are playing, I didn't expect many people here, but here's the reality. The game is blacked out. Do you know this? If you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, we got a lot of friends in Northeast Ohio. The game's blacked out. What is going on? When does it end? Look, we have YouTube TV. It's supposed to be on NBA TV, but I'm going to call it out. Usually we doing no names here. Here's the reality. Bally Sports, I'm coming for you. Are you kidding me? Bally Sports. Bally Sports coming in with the exclusive rights. So here's a great idea. Let's black out a game with the team that is loved by the entire region, the 2016 champions, the Cleveland Cavaliers, some of the best sports fans in the world. Way to go. By the way, a couple of years down the road, I don't think you're going to hear about Bally Sports again.
Yeah,
There's a prediction for you.
this is unbelievable. How could they do that to the Cleveland fan base?
Well, we got
This
their
is
back, right?
unreal.
We got their back because those of you, thank you all for joining on Riverside. I know we're streaming on YouTube. We are also streaming, by the way, at breakingitdown.live.
The
That's
website's up and
the
going.
website's
Shout
up
out
and
to the
going.
staff.
Shout out to the staff, www. You hear that old school? www.breakingitdown.live. I'm sorry, breakingitdown.live. We're streaming there and we'll always stream there. We're streaming on 8:15 ESPN or ESPN. I'm thinking about the Cavs, bro.
You're thinking about the Cavs.
8:15 Eastern time. We're a couple of minutes late here. So, hey, let's get started. By the way, I couldn't
I
stop
gotta
thinking
ask.
about last week's. Yeah,
I got a
go
question
ahead.
for you. I
I'm
know
ready.
last week didn't end so well for you with our fact or fiction episode, and you and I were texting a little bit about it following the episode. How are you doing? How you
Not
holding up?
well.
What do you mean?
Not well. I've been obsessed. Here's the reality. Last week, and by the way, for those on Riverside, make sure you go over to YouTube, and those on YouTube seeing it now or afterwards, you can go back into the archives. You can watch these. You can even flip to the end if you want to see if the story is fact or fiction. Here's the reality. I was wrong last week about a story, and this story took place in a yard in a house that was only a few blocks from where I live right now. I actually didn't believe you even afterwards. There was a part of me that wanted to go out into that field to see if there were aliens showing up in the middle of the night. Anthony, I was about to set up shop in a satellite system to look for aliens. Your story was so convincing. So check out last week's Breaking It Down Live. It's on YouTube. We are live right now, and you can always check back on our YouTube page and on breakingitdown.live to see all of these stories. Hey, why don't you get folks familiar with those who are new? And I know we have some new folks in the Riverside room, so welcome to all of you. Could you set
We
us
do.
up because I'm telling a story this week, and I'm really anxious to see if you're going to guess if this is fact or fiction.
We're ready to duel it out tonight. So
Let's
yes, let's duel it out. All right.
let's
For those of you that are new, fact or fiction, tonight's story by Aaron. You're gonna have to watch along. You're gonna have to determine whether he's telling the truth or whether he is not. And how that's gonna work, listen along, take notes, watch his mannerisms, watch to see if he's sweating a little bit. Maybe he's lying, maybe he's not. I'm going to be acting as a detective, and I expect every single one of you watching to be doing the same. Leave comments along the way. Do you think he's telling the truth? Do you think he's lying? If you see something that is interesting, point it out, put it in the comments. What's going to happen at the end is I'm going to have an opportunity to ask a question, maybe two if I'm lucky, if Aaron's feeling generous. to see if I want to get some clarification on anything that he told during his story. And then we're going to pause. Before he reveals, we're going to give you all an opportunity to guess in the chat whether you think the story is fact or fiction. And what's going to happen is we're going to be giving out a gift card tonight.
$25,
Aaron,
folks. $25.
$25 to the first person that guesses it correct in the chat. But the kicker is you have to wait for us to give you the cue to start guessing. And we do have an assistant tonight, Aaron's wife.
My wife, the best ever.
Corey
I am
is going to be.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. She's going to be monitoring two chats, Riverside Studio and YouTube. She's going to be
There was
juggling.
some controversy last week. Can I jump in the last couple of weeks? We're ironing it out between the Riverside folks and the YouTube folks. We got 20 plus Riverside folks right now watching. I'm not even looking at YouTube because I can't multitask. My point is, all of you together, we got an Omni chat that we can see. I won't be looking at it during my guess because I don't want to get off my game. But Corey's going to be monitoring it. And to your point, what you're saying, Anthony, from Riverside, from YouTube, the first one to guess right gets a $25 gift card. I believe also a special guest audience member, my daughter, Luciana, might be there. My son, Lennon, he might be watching too. Look, I know we got some parental controls there, so I don't know if they can comment or not, but I told them this before we recorded. If they guess right, honor system, they get a $25 gift card. So this one's for the family. Let's go.
Everybody's up. Everybody has an opportunity to win here. And then once we announce the winner, we get to celebrate them. Now, don't exit the call after we do that because we're going to do a little bit of a breakdown. We're going to break it down. We're going to tell you a little bit more about the story. We're going to unpack it. We're going to have some fun having some conversation around that. So,
yes, sir.
Without further ado, let's get to tonight's story. Aaron, take us away.
Let's get started. Now, listen, I have told a lot of stories. In fact, you got your notebook out? I hope you do.
Start taking how serious notes. I take this?
Yeah, get some Dunkin'
For everybody
Donuts.
watching, I got my notepad.
Take notes. You should be taking
beverages.
notes.
I'm ready to go.
If you're watching right now, take notes. See if you can tell if I'm lying or not, or if I'm telling the truth, or if this is fact or fiction. Here is something that's true. When we first started the show, I think our first pilot that went live on YouTube, outside of just this Riverside crew we've built over the last year, the first one we put out there was a story about my time out in New York pursuing a dream as an actor. Well, this takes place, the story you're going to hear right now takes place in New Jersey, and it takes place during that same time period. But this is a story, Anthony, that you have not heard, and I don't think anyone in my family has heard this story because, frankly, I still feel a little guilty about it.
Wow, we're starting with guilt.
We're starting with guilt. Here's my confession. Here we go. If you were pursuing something creative in life, all right? If you are pursuing something, oftentimes you gotta work a job that's untraditional. You know this, dude. You've told stories about you going out to LA, music, modeling, me acting, storytelling, theater, film. You know the whole story. A lot of us in the creative arts, when we start off bartending, you're a waiter, you're working weird hours, you're a telemarketer, right. You're in sales, right? You're working on the weekend. Whatever it takes to be able to open up your schedule for you to audition, for you to build your resume, for you to be in plays or whatever. So I'm in New Jersey. I'm bridge and tunneling into New York City. I'm auditioning in New York. Things are starting to happen, but slowly. And so I need money, and the rent out there is wild. Dude, the rent out there back then, this is around 2008, 2009, was wild. I can't imagine what it's like now. So I needed a day job. And there was a career fair that was happening at the local mall in the borough in New Jersey where I live. Now, no names, please. I know I called out Bally's at the top of this. That's because I'm pissed at them. But for everybody here, I won't give the name, but it was in New Jersey. It was near the Jersey Shore, and it was a major mall out there. And they had like a job fair. So the different stores opened up for like kids in the summertime. At the time, I think I was about 24, 25, something like that. People who are going into doing their doctorates or whatever, part-time jobs, just trying to make money, hustle, make some cash. So there are lines everywhere. And I saw two lines that interested me because first, to be honest with you, the guys were dressed up really nice. Had their suits.
Yeah.
Looking fresh. Okay. That line was for a major cell phone company. No names, please. It was in the mall. And I will say this, it said brand name cell phone company, okay? Authorized dealer. Legit. I go in there. Here's the deal. The line was really long. A couple of steps away in the middle of the mall where you walk back and forth, you're doing this. In the middle of the mall, there was a kiosk. This was from the same cell phone company, but there was only one or two people in line for that job fair activity.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking, same company, why not go over there? So I do. I'm standing in line, only took me a couple of seconds. And the one thing I did notice was it said cell phone company, no names, please. But underneath it said unauthorized dealership. Here we go. Here we go. Let that let that
It's like
sink
the
in.
inception of cell phone companies or something.
Here we go. Unauthorized.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really an interview. I will say the guy's name because there's a ton of guys named this way. So his name was Samir. And Samir was this tall dude. And he was dressed nice too, but not like the guys in the authorized dealer. He had an open up, button up shirt, chest hair, a lot of cologne. A lot of cologne. And I was like, okay. I was like, I can do this. And he hands me an application and he's like, when can you start? I thought I knocked it out of the park. All I did was walk up. Anthony, I'm just walking up to places. They're handing me jobs.
You didn't even have to interview.
Should have been a sign. Folks, that's a red flag, by the way. Hey, listen, you know that I help lead Glassdoor's flagship podcast called The Lonely Office. So I find it actually really interesting that I'm telling this story because this is a story about work. This is a story about the first jobs that we take, internships. So when I say red flag,
Right.
that's for anybody out there and anyone here at the Riverside studio. If you don't get asked to do an interview, even a basic conversation, it's a red flag. Here's the reality. Okay. So
Head for the door.
hit the exits. Samir gives me this application. I'm filling it out. I come back the next day. I hand him the application. He goes, come on in. I start work the day I return the application. He opens the key. I said, how do I get paid? Oh, don't worry. We'll do the paperwork and all that kind of stuff later. Okay. I thought this guy's a maverick, I thought, right? He's flying loose. He's just whatever. But I just needed the job. He goes, I will pay you every 2 weeks. You'll get a check. It'll be from said company, but let's start today. And he started training me. Now, if you've ever been through the mall, you know this. In the authorized dealerships, you go in there, you kind of have to go in to get service. In fact, sometimes there's lines. They put you on a wait list. I gotta get a number. You're at the deli, right? You're going through, you're like number 25. There's waiting rooms, there's couches, there's things you can do, there's TVs playing, a lot of distractions. At the unauthorized dealerships, you're shouting at people. You've walked past them, right? People are walking, you've heard them go like, hey ma'am, you got a cell phone? Ma'am, you need a phone? Hey ma'am, excuse me, sir, you have a phone? Excuse me. Oh, and they're actually harassing customers.
We see it every day.
And as soon as I started there, the guys that were working there, the crew that was there, Samir included, see, I'm already doing this like they used to do, right? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. They were harassing customers. And the first thing Samir said was like, look, bro. He said, you got to go. I was trying to be nice to people and say, ma'am, excuse me. He goes, no, you don't say ma'am. He goes, you shout at them. You yell at them. He goes, by any means, call out something. Say something about their clothes. Make fun of them. I thought, this is wild, but it's my first day on the job. I'm 25, need the cash. So I start just doing what they do. Hey, excuse me, sir, what's the problem? Oh, yeah, come over, let's talk about it. And meanwhile, let me get you a cell phone. Right? I'm trying to just play like them. I'm not one of them, but I'm playing like them. And it actually starts to work. I get some folks over, right? And I start getting people to inquire about the cell phones. Now, I'm doing what I'm doing right now, what we do every single day, my friend, every single day, where we're telling stories. We're in calls, I'm telling stories, we're in conversations. And so I'm improvising. And during the improvisation, I'm starting to sell. Samir's giving me instructions of how to get them set up on these plans because, one, they're buying phones. You've talked about potentially shifting phone companies and cell phones and all that stuff, right? You're shifting, and then you have to go through a computer system. Even back then, it was all digital. and you basically, switched at the time, you switched out SIM cards. Okay. It wasn't just like it
Right.
is now. There's actual SIM cards you put into the phone to kind of date me. But you would also have to update their profile. You had to add different things and features on this program. And so he's talking to me. He's like, just get them over here and start talking to them. Now, as we're going through the first sale I make, he's doing the work on the computer to help me. I'm just talking to people. How many family members do you have? Do you have a kid? How about an extra line? I don't have anybody else in my family, but might need it. Do you work in business? How about a burner phone? Right? We're just using whatever tactics we can do to make the sale bigger, get the
Right.
sale. Here's one thing that happened next. Samir goes, I want you to run the program next time on the computer. So now he's basically saying after 2 or 3 customers, and I made a couple sales, he's like, you got to do it, but here's what you have to do. He goes, when you go into this computer program and they're signing up, you need to go through and add these features in there. And I was like, what are these? I'm 25. I just showed up in New Jersey. I'm from Ohio, dude. This guy just says add these features. I said, well, what do you mean add these features? He goes, well, these are features that are going to save them money. We want to help the customers. And I said, well, some of these are like insurance. It says insurance. Some of it says like add an extra line or take away a line. Some of it's like elongating the month of the contract. He goes, we want to make the contracts always more than 48 months. He goes, because that actually saves them on their bill. Okay. You could say, I can
Right.
save you money on your bill. But he goes, but don't let them know what you're doing because they don't want to know all the details. All you got to do is say, I can get you a phone cheap, and here's what you have to pay a month. And all you got to do is sign here. And if they ask questions about it, just let them know that at any point in time, they can come here, talk to us, and we can update their contract. We're a little different. We play by a little set of different rules than the other dealership, and we're here to help them. I thought that's actually, not a bad idea. Maybe that's how they stay in business because they can offer some of that flexibility. So I got this guy that I have at the counter. I call him over. Hey, sir, how you doing? And I'm going through the computer system, and I'm just add everything he told me to do. I'm adding features. By the way, I was worried that the guy would get pissed when he saw the receipt because of all the additions. He didn't. He just signed the dotted line. He said, thanks so much. Gave him the phone, SIM card, boop, he's gone. I do this, by the way, for a full week. I'm working weird hours. I'm doing this for a full week. I'm adding. And Samir even said, if you take away services, you can take them away and then add them back on. Meaning, like, if there's already a service that they don't want to change, or if they notice something, you can actually delete, but then re-add it at zero cost. And I was like, so he showed me that's the most important part of the sale is to do that. And he goes, and I'll show you why at the end of the week. What's he got for me? What kind of things does he have? What kind of surprise does Samir have in store for me?
He's got something cooking.
Well, I do this for a week. I sell dozens and dozens of plans. People couldn't be more happy with me. Anthony, I'm talking to people. I even start shifting my game. I'm not yelling at people. They know me. I'm like, I'm the cell phone guru. I'm here to help, folks. Folks, come on over. You need help? You need a repair with your cell phone? You come in for a repair, you end up with 5 phones, 5 lines, and 5 insurance bills. And guess what? You're paying less than right now. Right? This was wild. So at the end of the 2 weeks, I'm closing now. We're getting towards the end here.
No, I'm enjoying every minute of this.
At the end of the 2 weeks, I get a letter in the mail. And I open the letter, and it has 2 checks. One check, by the way, from the cell phone company, from the unauthorized dealership with that guy's signature, Samir, on there, and another official one. I get a check for my hourly rate. It's only like a couple $100. Like that's what I should be paid. Behind that check is a check, I'll remember it right now, for $657. Commission. Going 600. What is going on here? I actually felt bad about it. So when I went into work next, talked to Samir. I said, Samir, listen, I don't know if it's just me being raised in Ohio or just growing up the way I did, or my beliefs and faith, all that stuff, whatever it is, just right and wrong. I think I got someone else's check. He goes, no, brother, that's yours. That's your commission check. I said, commission check. He goes, remember all the features that you were adding and taking away and extending, all that stuff? Every time we do that, it pings the system, and the cell phone authorized dealership pays us a commission. So you're telling
you guys are the mafia.
I'm working for an illegal enterprise. I essentially, for a week, was putting people into cell phone plans, extending contracts out for their entire lives, adding insurance plans that you want. I was working for a criminal organization.
It's blood money.
So I had a choice to make. First, here's the reality. That's $657. Boy, I didn't give it back. I didn't give that check back. I really needed it. Because, listen, things were expensive out there. I'm just being real. But here's what I did do. I said, listen, I'm going to keep this check. It's kind of a half-hearted. But I said, my friend, thank you so much for showing me your ways, the ways of the unauthorized dealership. But I can't work here anymore because that is dishonest. What we're doing here is dishonest. And he's like, oh, he kind of came back to me. He's like, oh, you're too good for this, huh? I said, no, man. I said, here's the reality. Like, I understand commission and sales and all that stuff. That works. But like, you're putting stuff on people's plans and manipulating a system without their consent. And that, to me, even though it makes a ton of money, and to be honest with you, I'm not that great of a human being because I'm going to keep this check because I need it. But what I can't do is sleep every night going forward knowing I'm doing that to people. I'm just being honest with you. Listen, I wish I could tell you the story of like, I did it for 2 years and didn't care. Anthony, you know me. We're just built. I just can't do it. I can't sleep at night. Just like I can't sleep at night thinking about the story you told me last week. I still think you had an encounter with a UFO. I can't. I'm hopeful. Listen. So I talked to this guy. He tried to convince me to stay because I was selling. He goes, man, he said, you don't have to worry about that stuff, man. He's like, what do you care? Just add it's just business. And I said, no, it's more than business. It's people. And even if they can't connect me with it, man, to know that on the other end of that, that puts them in a spot. That puts a burden on them. They can't buy groceries or whatever. It's just wrong. Bottom line. So I walked. I kept the check. And every single time now, when I walk by an unauthorized cell phone dealer in the middle of the store, I got to be honest with you. I almost want to have a conversation with those guys because I hear the echoes in the background when I'm walking past them, Anthony. I hear them say, hey, you need a cell phone? You need a plan? And I hope and I pray that they come to their senses and shut these things down because they're nothing but criminal enterprises. All right. That's the end of the story. I'm sticking to it. It's your shot now. You got a couple of questions, and I know we got some folks in Riverside who are just kind of dying to give their answers of whether they think, but don't do it yet. Hold off, right? Hold off. We're going to give you the signal. Don't guess yet. You have 2 questions to ask me, 2 clarifying questions. What do you think?
Oof, this is a excellent story, and you really have me confused on this one. I'm not going to lie. So my first question.
Yeah.
So in this mall, there were 2 dealers. There was an authorized dealer, and then there was an unauthorized dealer?
Yep. And the authorized dealer, to give you more clarification, was like a storefront, like an actual storefront that you could walk into. So this isn't the company that was involved, but like, let's say you go to the Apple store, or let's say you go to like, whatever, man, where are we going when we were kids? Spencer's or something like that, right? Like you walk into the store, but it's on the side of the mall. When you're walking down the hallway, you walk in. That's the authorized dealer. Where I worked was the unauthorized dealer. And again, very tiny print, very tiny underneath the sign. And it was in a kiosk in the middle of the mall when you're walking by. It's the guy, listen, it's the people with the jewelry. They got the stuffed animals. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Does that answer
Yeah,
your question?
yeah, and look, like, not trying to cause controversy here.
Here he comes.
I've never seen anything that says unauthorized dealer.
Hey,
Now, hold on.
no, this is your guess. It's trust your
So,
instinct.
So I think that's my only question.
That's it.
That's my
You
only
got a
question.
guess?
So,
You got a guess?
well,
By the
I
way,
think
you're winning right now.
I am.
So you want to give them 60 seconds to guess.
Yes. Right now is the time we're going to open the floor to everyone
now,
in Riverside and YouTube.
Riverside and YouTube. I'm not looking at the chat. I am not looking at the chat. Corey, if you're still watching here and not so embarrassed to be married to me because for at least a week, I was slinging cell phones and part of a criminal syndicate. Do me a favor.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Is it true? Is it fact or is it fiction? Folks, it's
all right,
your
so here's
time
the green light.
to choose. Go.
Go.
Fact or fiction?
60 seconds on the
60
clock.
60 seconds. Now, while we're waiting,
While we're waiting, Aaron's going to add additional features to all of your cell phone plans behind the scenes.
You know what's funny? I just got a text from Corey too. She goes, I'm not even sure. She doesn't even know. That's why these stories. That's why you got to tune in every single week.
What's really interesting here is it possible that Corey is a plant and this is all part of the story? That the text to you was pre-planned.
Does this help
throw me off
your choice? By the way, while we're waiting, here's the reality. I think I'm losing in ours, right? What is it, 3-1? Am I down 3-1?
It is. You're down 3-1. Hey, look, it's anybody's game at this point. I can't.
Keep in mind. By the way, I just got a text. This is not a plant. This is in the moment. My pride and joy, my daughter, text me. She's got a guess. I love this. She has the feature. She can't comment on YouTube. She goes around. She texts me. She gave me a guess.
We're going to reveal.
You got to throw that in there. Here's what I'm going to do.
We'll timestamp it.
I will say this. We're going to timestamp this right now. Corey, I think that's about 60 seconds.
Yep. I'm going to guess here in a moment.
By the way, I'm going to make an executive decision right now. Lou Diamond, nickname for my daughter Lou. I'll let you know, but if you get this right, separately, you get a $25 gift card to wherever you want to go. How about that? You get a $25 gift card.
Shout out to the family.
Now, shout out to the family. That's just for the family. But we still have a non-familial viewer where we need. Oh my gosh. Okay, so all right.
Riverside
Corey,
comments are coming in too.
Here they come. Okay, so we'll wait and see.
Here we go.
Corey, I'll wait for you. Now I got the chat open. Corey, drop it in here. Who has? Well, no, actually, now I got to reveal it, right? I'm screwing this whole thing up.
I have to guess.
Here. Oh yeah. So okay, everybody.
I'm gonna guess.
Guess.
This one has really threw me off. I know that you worked at a cell phone store while you were in Jersey. I know that part of the story is true.
Yep.
I know that you would definitely return or not. You wouldn't return the money working so hard for. I know that you would probably not continue working there. I'm having a hard time with the unauthorized dealer. My guess is that this is a false story. Final answer.
Final answer?
Yes.
Guess what? You're wrong. True story. You're wrong. This is a true story, folks. True story. Now, I don't know. Here's the thing. By the way, Corey, drop us a message.
Well done.
Did anybody get it true? Listen, my daughter, she texted me and says it's fake. Guess what? Lou, thanks for playing. My daughter, you still get a $25 gift card because you're a sweetheart. How about that? Now, I want to see.
An L.
You get an L. I told you. Now I'm back 3-2. I told you 2016. So we started with the Cavs being blacked out tonight. Guess what? In 2016, the Cavs were down 3-1, just like me, and they made a comeback just like I did tonight. 3-2. Now,
Well done. We'll break it down. Do you want to
We'll
break it down now?
Let's break it down now. And once Corey drops the name of the person that got it right in the chat, you let me know, or I'll see, and then we'll announce the winner from our listenership or viewership at the end. But let's break this down for
Real
why.
quick, I do have the winner. Yeah, it looks like Kevin in Riverside had it first. Shout out to Kevin. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Corey. Congratulations, Kevin. We'll make sure to get that gift card over to you at the end. We'll coordinate that.
Kevin. Hey, I was surprised. The bench had it 2 weeks in a row. He probably felt bad and said he just can't keep. The guy's won so much money in the last couple of weeks. Kevin, you got. Yeah. I'm glad you won. Thank you for being here.
Shout out to Kevin. The bench is most likely subscribed to Bally's watching the Cavs game. He got sucked in.
He got sucked in. Okay, so let's
break it down.
Oh, okay. So real quick, I just saw Kevin was the first, but Corey's friend Lisa was watching too. She got it right. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Lisa. She just wasn't in time. Kevin got there first, and then you got.
There's always next time.
There's always next time. All right. So let's break it down before we end the evening here. By the way, our timing's been great. We say every night or every Wednesday, we're going to try to get out of here before 9 p.m. Eastern. Look at us, 8:48. We're good. Let's take a few minutes to break it down, and then let's tease next week's story and a few things that we got in the works.
Yeah. Do you want to start with me?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear how I got to the false answer first, and then maybe you can kind of. So, man, this one was so freaking hard for me because the unauthorized dealer, I couldn't get past it. I was obsessed. I became obsessed with the unauthorized dealer element of it. I became obsessed with the fact that you got this commission check. Now, listen, the $657 back then was a lot of money. I had thought you were going to say like $2 or $3 grand.
Really?
Or something.
Okay.
So when I heard 657, still a lot of money. Not saying it's not.
2008 was kind of a week's worth of work.
Yeah, that's fair. I was kind of like, I don't know. Everything happened so fast, adding the features behind the scenes, Samir, the shirt. It was possible it could have been
chest hair.
It was possible it could have been true. I thought you were painting a picture of just this situation. And you were just trying to punk me. And I thought I saw through it. I thought I saw through it. I was going back and forth. I was close to guessing true, but I had to go with my gut. My gut said false. Sometimes you got to live and die by what you're feeling. And I was wrong. I was wrong tonight. I'll take the loss. It was a great story.
Thank you.
Shout out to you for putting this one together.
I appreciate that.
You're one behind, 3-2. Anything can happen in the next couple of weeks. We're going to see where this goes. Any additional thoughts from you before we wrap, and then we can talk a little bit about next week?
Yeah, shout out to my families joining these now. They're having fun. That's what this is all about, man. This is great.
It is. Well, real quick, shout out to my wife. It's her birthday tonight. Shout out to Vanessa. She's watching right now.
Happy birthday. Let's go. We got
dog,
the family here.
Olive is watching as well. She always watches these. So shout out to Vanessa and Olive.
We got the families watching. We got 20 folks in Riverside. Thank you for being here. And so a couple things. I understand why you got. Listen, by the way, looks like I love this. I got an update from Corey in the Omni chat. For any of you folks that are blacked out from the Cavs game, Cavs 68-51 at half. We're halftime. Cavs are up. Let's go 2-0, by the way.
You can't keep us out, Bally's.
Can't keep us out. Corey checking
says
ESPN stats.
Thank you, Corey, for that. Corey says happy birthday, Vanessa. Thank you, Corey, for that. Shout out. Everybody's winning tonight.
Everyone's winning, except us watching the Cavs, and except you. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I was so excited to tell this story because, one, I had a feeling I was going to get you. I didn't know you would obsess about the unauthorized dealership. You're spinning. Listen, I'm still thinking there's aliens 3 blocks away in your backyard. You're going to be spinning, tossing and turning tonight, and all you're going to see in your head is unauthorized dealership. Every cell phone.
Who buys from an unauthorized dealer? Listen, you want to lay the cards on the table?
Yeah.
Who walks up to a dealer and says, this is unauthorized? Oh, let me buy a cell phone from them.
So here's the weird thing. It might be, and again, this is a long time ago. I'm not making excuses because it is fact. it could be a state thing, meaning state to state, different companies have to exhibit or share different details.
Right.
It was very clear. When I say clear, meaning it was very small lettering, but it was very clear because, and I didn't, here's the reason I should, maybe this was unfair in the way I presented the story, but there were multiple times where people would ask about that. Now, I didn't want to overemphasize it in the story because I actually was worried that that would be a tell. That you would be like, I've already said it was unauthorized. I clearly set it up as authorized and unauthorized. But people would come up to us and go, like, what's the difference between the two? Like, what's unauthorized? And basically, I sold them what Samir told me. We just have more flexibility in our contracts. We can have our stores in different places. We don't have to, we have the same quality, but we just don't have to abide by all the rules. So we played it as an advantage, but it was unauthorized. And it was specifically that. And so, yeah, man, that was a true story. And the reality is $657 was a lot of money back then. But I did feel, listen, I'm not perfect, man. I took that money. I did. I needed the money. I needed to pay rent. But here's the thing. I took the money, but I left the job because I could not handle it.
You did the right thing. You put in the work. You put in the work. I have a couple closing thoughts here. One, if at some point in time in the future, we're going to have merch. And I almost imagine a Breaking It Down shirt that says unauthorized dealer. I'm sorry. I will personally make sure that happens.
Do not forget this. It's on tape. I love it.
It's on tape. And look, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever come in there during that week that you were there and make a complaint to Samir or fight with him? Just out of curiosity. That you saw.
No.
I have my own theory here.
No. Not like a complaint, but again, there was just always a lot of tension in the contract signings.
You want to know why?
Because it's unauthorized.
It's unauthorized. Those people, he'd make them disappear.
Listen, I don't doubt it.
We're talking mafia here.
Hey, here's the reality. I quit. That's why I'm still here. Now, I got out early.
Get out while you can.
I got out while I can.
You get out of the family business, huh?
Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. Here's the thing. Let's end here. We're at 8:54 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you for watching Breaking It Down. Another week, another live show, another story, another question, fact or fiction. Kevin got it. My daughter got it. Shout out to all the people that watched, that are coming back every week. Shout out to our crew here that we've built over, it's been like 6 months on Riverside. Thank you guys for being here. Tell your friends about it. If you're watching not on Riverside, tell your friends to join us on YouTube. Not everyone wants to jump in the studio here and kind of be part of this. That's cool. That's like our inner circle. But tune in every week. Bring a friend. If you like this premise, if you like to spend 45 minutes listening to stories, laughing, and playing detective, and possibly winning prizes, who knows, week to week you can, join us every Wednesday, 8:15 Eastern time. I will say this. At the end of this story, by the way, when I quit that job, I had a rough couple of months finding a new job. Luckily, though, here's a full circle moment. Luckily, I got an email that offered me an acting job in Connecticut on a little show called Bronx is Burning. And the last bit of that money I used to get a haircut. And that story, if you have not heard, if you're new, go back to our first YouTube live show. That actually happened chronologically after the story I just told you. Folks,
it's all tied together.
It's all tied together. Thank you so much for being here. Anthony, any final thoughts? Are you ready to rock?
Yeah, Corey said that she would wear the unauthorized dealer shirt, so I think that we may have to make that happen at some point in the future. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you, guys.
We are most likely all not going to go to an unauthorized dealer cell phone store anytime soon. You get educational content when you attend a Breaking It Down live stream. We will see you next week. I'm on deck.
You're on
trying
deck.
To continue the lead. We'll see you soon.
3-2. 3-2. You're on deck. A lot of pressure. See ya.